Hello, family, and per usual, Black love, Black pride, Black power. You have to know yourself, to love your people, and cancel those subscriptions to White Supremacy Weekly. Thank you. Today's topic is going to be quite interessante. I'm still in Guatemala, by the way, if you haven't noticed by the yellow wall. With that being said, we're just going to dive right into it. This is the top 5 reasons, plus a bonus reason, that the youth do not respect the elders. Small disclaimer, this, what I'm about to say, does not apply to 100% of the African elders out there. It really only applies to about 96% of the African elders out there. Um, like it or not, a lot of our elders are lost to the game. However, there is some elders out there that are worth, that earn or warranted the respect that elders deserved. Um, they are out there. So don't go say Auntie Jai said all the elders, you know, don't deserve respect or whatever, because it's not what I'm saying. I'm saying to use discernment and wisdom and intuition to distinguish between elder spitting game and an elder abusing their age to try to control you. I guess that's the best way I could put that. Whew. Anyways, I'm gonna just jump right into reason number one. Elders specialize in getting their ass whipped. I know off the top of the dome, when I say that, there's probably going to be plenty of young people out there who know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that this last generation of elders that used to be youth literally spent their whole youth getting their ass whipped. I'm talking during the Jim Crow era. I'm talking the more younger elders during the post Jim Crow Black Panther kind of era as well, when they started going crazy with the police and stuff. Like, for these past, in fact, since they first brought us over here, elders have just specialized in getting their asses whipped, okay? Every time we look at history, we see them accepting getting hoses sticked on them, accepting getting dogs sticked on them, accepting getting brutalized, and again, small minorities like the Deacons of Defense, which we rarely hear about, small minority groups of elders, people who are elders now, did something about it, actually advocated self-defense and tried to fight back. But majority of elders have been passively accepting their ass whooping for a couple of hundreds of years now. So of course, as a young person who's tired of getting their ass whipped, they're not gonna be too inclined to listen to somebody who only specializes in getting their ass whipped. Number two, elders are extremely hypocritical. It's a lot of do as I say and not as I do. And it's a lot of, when it comes to not us, when it comes to us against, when it comes to us against the world, it's all turn the other cheek and what would Jesus do? But when it comes to stuff internally, it's all, fire and brimstone. It amazes me how easy it is for an elder to condemn a black youth to hell or wherever else, or say all these negative things, or outcast them, abandon them, kick them out the house, treat them a certain kind of way. But it's so easy for them to forgive our oppressors. And when it comes to being disrespected or abused by anybody else, it's all like, oh, we forgive you and you must learn to love and turn the other cheek. This is one of the main primary examples of the hypocrisy that a lot of us witness from our elders, but I'm sure that most people my age and younger, and even slightly older, watching this know exactly what I'm talking about. Reason number three: elders want to train you to specialize in passively getting your ass whipped. Starting off with the fact that a lot of elders are in more than one ways abusive, some more physically, some more psychologically, verbally, But with that being said, especially because we have a lot of elders raising the children, like there's a generation kind of lost in between us. It's always, you know what it's like to get popped for everything. For anytime you ask a question, anytime you disagree, you don't have to be wrong, but if you disagree, or you ask a question, or anytime you question them, you're constantly getting popped, whooped, punished somehow, stuck in the corner with the leg up, roach position, knees on rise. We all know, get the switch. We all know these things. Anytime you question, anytime you want to do anything different, you don't have to be wrong, it just has to be not what they want. Elders are quick to punish you, and they also, while they're punishing you, they're training you psychologically, especially starting as a child, that you have no right, no authority, and no governing of self to defend yourself against said punishments, especially the ones that a lot of us know we didn't earn a lot of, the pinches and the pops and the thumps and all that kind of stuff. I was that, but they've been training us for a while to accept their authority and their abuse on us, just like they were trained, and their parents were trained, and their parents were trained, all the way back to the slave master. You know, so they also train you as well. And it's crazy because I have parents that taught me, if someone puts their hands on you, you hit them back. But when it comes to my philosophy as a united group of people against these other groups of people who have been putting their hands on Black people physically, economically, spiritually, physically, you name it, it's all of a sudden back to the hypocrisy, the forgive and turn the other cheek and all this other kind of nonsense, which kind of leads me into number 4. Elders are blindly religious, hence the reasons for 1 through 3. A large portion of our elders are successfully colonized and indoctrinated into these religious systems, which means their logic, like the book that they believe in, is highly irrational, full of contradictions, and doesn't always make the best of sense, especially when it comes towards the concept of self-preservation. When it comes to self-preservation, it seems that as a general collective, majority of African elders cannot think rationally and logically in that sense, because their religious beliefs convict them to not worry about their self-preservation, but the preservation of the people who do not care about them, and practice their self-preservation at the expense of African people. It's just a lot of the ironies, a lot of the paradoxes, a lot of the contradictions that come with the way that our elders think and the way they interact with us, especially younger people. A lot of it is a direct correlation to the psychology of the Bible, and if it don't make sense in the book, it's not going to make sense practice in reality either. And number 5, the elders have provided nothing for the youth. It's really going to be hard to listen to somebody who has nothing to show for anything. Now, again, I have to make this disclaimer. This is not 100% of Black elders, and some elders may may struggle in some areas but still be better in other areas. Some elders may actually be elders that have provided a legacy, but they might be struggling with something else, or some elders might have the psychology down, but they don't have nothing to show for their life. So not every elder is 100% suffering from all of these reasons, and also not every elder is suffering from these reasons, completely at all. There are some elders out there who none of these things that I've listed are things that that youth have to deal with these elders, and they actually are spinning good game, rational, logical, and if they do discipline, it's out of love and reason versus out of all these other ridiculous reasons that we get disciplined by our elders. But back to what I said, the elders have provided nothing tangible for the youth. We watch our grandparents give all their money to the church every Sunday, and yet they don't own their home, and they still owe on this or that, or like when they pass, all you get is a bunch of bills instead of a legacy. It's going to be awfully hard to listen to a group of people who have ultimately just been slaves their whole lives, worked hard their entire life, if they did that much, to have nothing to show for it after they pass and nothing to pass on. If you don't have nothing and I'm trying to get something, it's going to be awfully hard for me to listen to you on how to get what I'm trying to get. You know, it's going to be awfully hard to listen to you at all, especially if everything that you're saying is in opposition or contradiction to what I'm trying to accomplish and achieve, because you're not showing me that I should listen to you. Number six is the bonus reason I was talking about. I went to keep it five, but I was talking to a good friend when I went over these reasons. They said you kind of forgot one, and I'm always receptive to that, and I thought it was a good one. So, and I can't believe I didn't put this number one on the list. I didn't think of it first. A lot of elders feel like they're owed respect just because they're older. And the problem with that is a lot of elders do not deserve respect. Pulling the age card is not enough for me to respect you. And this is coming from someone who is the oldest of my generation. Yeah, I'm the oldest of all of my grandma's grandchildren. And you would think the oldest child is always going to be the first person to say, you have to listen to me because I'm the oldest. And there was a period of time when I did think like that. I wasn't very successful with that kind of thought. But as I grew and as I matured, which a lot of the thing is we fail to realize, a lot of our elders are not mature. You're old, but you are not mature, especially psychologically and mentally. But with that being said, you would think I'd be the first one on the bandwagon of just because I'm older and because I say so it goes. But that is not how things work. You don't owe anybody anything. You do not. As a person, you have the right to consent to the fact that you are born free. If you want to give up your freedom to other people and their ideas and whatnot, that's on you. But you do not owe anybody anything. With that being said, someone is literally, when we have elders literally telling us wrong, literally treating us wrong, literally sounding absolutely ridiculous, and we know these things to be proven false, and they're not, everything that they're saying isn't based in fact, etc., etc. And then when it all boils down to it, well, I'm your elder, you should respect me. No, I'm sorry, you have done nothing to warrant said respect, and it is what it is. I'm not saying that we need to go around here and burn down old folks' homes because we have given up on our elders. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that if we want to continue as a people, and we want to continue to be able to have a grounds to grow, and our elders want to be a part of that, because the world is changing, people are changing, and each generation you see we're less and less like our parents, and we're less and less like our grandparents when it comes to how we feel about this world, how we see it, and how we respond to it. You know, if we want to make a difference now, if we want to have our elders be a part of the solution versus continue to be an active part of the problem, then honestly that part is on the elders. I mean, the elders, if you, whoever is watching this, instead of automatically wanting to snatch me up and make me grab a switch for the truth that I'm saying here, how about you take a moment, evaluate yourself, evaluate your life, evaluate your relationships with the youth around you, and evaluate the message that you have for them, and see if what I'm saying makes some sense or not, which it does. And if you see that it does, and you want to be better and do better for future generations, that it's never too late to do so. So long as you're still breathing, it is not too late for you to do better for future generations, you know. But getting closer to European people and being able to live in closer proximity to them and being able to allow ourselves to be indoctrinated by them is not progress. So don't get mad, get right. And instead of being quick to condemn the youth for rightfully being infuriated with the way the world is today and wanting to do something about it, be understanding that you were once that youth. And though our methods may not be the same as yours, we all ultimately have the same goal and desire the same things, and that is the right to be a true, free, liberated human being. Instead of us abusing the children for actually using their minds, let's encourage them to continue to do so. And if we come up across, if young people and children bring up things that are contradictory to what you believed your entire life, but you see that they're making sense, and you find out that you don't have any logical and rational answers to their questions, maybe it's a time to reevaluate your thought process. And if you feel like I'm old, I've been thinking this way forever, and I'm not going to change, that's fine, but do not continue to try and force that and force those ways and stuff into the youth. It's wrong. It's wrong, and it's holding us back. But I went a little over time than intended on this one, but I know there's going to be a lot of young people to relate to me on this one, and also, um, excuse me, and I'm definitely saying what needs to be said. So, as usual, everything is said with love to my elders and to my youth. Everything is said with love when it comes to my people, but it's also said with realness and truth. Okay? Okay, per usual, that's Black love, Black pride, Black power. You have to know yourself, to love your people. And as newly quoted, don't get mad, get right. Peace.